Welcome to Shark Tank News. Today is January 18th, 2021. We don't usually produce shows on days that we aren't actually in school, like federal holidays, but today is Martin Luther King Day, and we wanted to take a minute to talk about Martin Luther King Jr., who is a renowned civil rights activist.
Did you know that there's over 730 streets in the U.S. named after Martin Luther King Jr.? In honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I'm going to be sharing some facts about his life and why he's important in our history. In 1929, on January 15th, Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia. In 1948 through 1955, Martin Luther King Jr. got his bachelor's degree in sociology from Morehouse College, went to a different school called Crozer Theological Seminary, spent 3 years there, and got elected to be president of the Crozer student body. He studied at graduate school Boston University, got his PhD in theology from Boston University, and married Coretta Scott. In 1955, he also got elected to lead the Montgomery Improvement Association, composed by other black citizens, and argued that they would not take the bus after Rosa Parks had argued and denied to give up her seat and was arrested. Eventually, in late 1956, the U.S. Supreme Court was allowing black people to sit wherever they want on the buses. To add on, in 1957, Martin Luther King Jr. and other supporters created an organization known as the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, also known as SCLC. Then, in 1960, he and his family moved back to Atlanta, Georgia, and spent most of his time at the SCLC with civil rights activities. After April 16, 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. had joined a movement to get black people to sit at counters in hiring practices. But he and a lot of activists were arrested. While in Birmingham jail, he sent an open letter to the people at his church saying that he is not going to use violence ever in his protests, boycotts, etc., and that he is still going to protest. The letter is usually known to be the Letter of Birmingham Jail. On August 28, 1963, adjacent to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., Martin Luther King Jr. told his I Have a Dream speech near 2,500 people, and they were there to march with the civil rights while MLK was giving his speech. A year later, on October 14, 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for Peace. Sadly, on April 4, 1968, MLK had been shot and killed in Memphis, Tennessee. In 1983, the U.S. Congress officially made a Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the third Monday of January in his honor of all the great things he did for America. I hope you had a great time learning a little bit about Martin Luther King Jr. and his wonderful story. For more information, go to www.britannica.com/summary/Martin Luther King Jr. timeline. This is Lydia Appleton reporting for Shark Tank News. Now back to our anchor.
Thanks for tuning in to another show of Shark Tank News. Make sure you wear a mask and make sure you stay safe.